majority of these glacier outlets, or glacier tongues, as people call it differently, and they all spread around the main glacier called Vatnajökull. So all the white thing you see around that you were driving by today or yesterday on either side was the main glacier Vatnajökull. So Vatna means water, and Jökull means glacier, and it makes about 9 or 10% of Iceland. 5 years ago it was 13%, so you can understand how it's getting smaller. And it is also the biggest glacier by volume in Europe. If Russia was part of Europe, the Russian glacier, but for now it's Iceland, so that's good. And so Breiðamerkurjökull is the fastest retreating glacier outlet. What it means is that it's going back more than it is growing, and soon after 50 or 60 years it might be completely gone, which means there will be no more ice in the lagoon. So what you see is a temporary view for us, but for the next generation there will be no ice anymore. Now, fun fact about Breiðamerkurjökull is that 100 years ago or so, it was extremely close to the ocean. So where we are right now, we would be on a glacier more than 100 years ago. And today's distance is about 10 kilometers from the ocean until the glacier. Okay, it's quite far now, quite far. We lose about 300 meters each year, and that's why people assume 50, 60 years is the time for the ice, and then nothing else will happen. Now, when the ice breaks free from the glacier outlet, it naturally floats. So all the pieces that we pass by, and we will pass by on the way back, are floating because their density is lower than water, which allows them to freely move around the lagoon thanks to the wind and the currents. So this lagoon is ever changing. It never looks the same. The icebergs are always tilting, flipping, breaking, always up to something. And whenever I come here on this boat, it always looks different. Sadly, they all will be gone, will melt away in the next week, maybe 2, depending on their size and where they're located. If they're near the bridge, they melt the fastest because the ocean is warmer than the lagoon, and actually there's a salt water that melts these icebergs really, really fast. But if they stay in the back, there is cooler environment, cooler water, and it's more fresh, so they will melt a little bit slower. Okay. Now, when you look at these icebergs, we only see 9 or 10% above the surface. Everything else lies underneath. I guess there's a saying in the world that goes, you only see the tip of the iceberg, which we can beautifully apply here in the lagoon. And when it comes to the colors, there are a minimum of 3: blue, white, and black. Now, the color black is volcanic ash, but it can also be dirt or gravel from the mountains. And there are some icebergs today that hopefully will pass by, and they have black stripes or lines in different directions as they're flipping, tilting. They're always, moving around. And so in theory, every line should represent different volcanic eruption from the past. So you need to think of glacier like a lasagna, different layer, different snow, different volcanic eruption, and the top layers are compressing the other, and that's how the glacier actually comes to be, and that's how some of the layers are visible, okay? Now, the color blue represents very dense, very compact ice that has been compressed for many years. So when the light travels through this piece of ice, every color of the spectrum disappears or gets absorbed by the ice. Only blue continues to be reflected. And as soon as this ice is above the surface, exposed to the warmer air, the oxygen, or the sunlight, it will naturally turn white. As the density is disappearing, the ice is melting. Lots of bubbles are created inside the ice. They're expanding, and eventually, yes, the blue will go away and white color will appear instead. And all the white color will appear, not apparently, but eventually, that's the word, start to crumble and break because there's so much air that it cannot hold the ice together anymore. And that's why you see all different shapes and sizes, all little medium sizes of these icebergs. 2 days ago, these little pieces were not here. Okay, so overnight, I guess one big iceberg broke off. Okay, and the last thing about these lagoons is that the water here is a mix of fresh and salty, actually because of the ocean that comes in and out. And so the lagoon can never fully freeze because of that. But 30 years ago, this place was completely solid on purpose for a movie called James Bond: Die Another Day. Maybe some of you are familiar with this movie. They actually created a little barrier or a block between the ocean and the lagoon, so the ocean stopped coming in, and within 2-3 weeks the lagoon froze. If we want to freeze it today, we would probably need 2 or 3 months because the lagoon has doubled in size since then. It's about 30 square kilometers. The deepest point is 311 meters, and the temperature is 3 degrees Celsius, so around 36 Fahrenheit, more or less. And the last thing, ice, 1,000-year-old. You can already see the bubbles, which kind of represent the white color in a way. So this is for you guys, totally edible. Just be careful on this edge; it can be a little bit sharp, so you don't want a nasty cut. There you go.